I got these 3 Lego sets completely free, and I got multiples of each one of them. Because of that, I'm going to get back a lot of the money that I spent on the larger Lego sets that I bought the day that I got these for free. Now, if you're new here, welcome to BrickBucks. This is where we talk about Lego investing and reselling, where we're building our wealth and growing an e-commerce business specifically around Lego. And what we're talking about here today is gifts with purchase. That is when you buy something from the Lego group themselves, whether it's in the Lego store or on lego.com. Sometimes you get a free gift with that purchase if you spend a certain amount. So let's say you spend $75, you might get a free Harry Potter Monster Book of Monsters. Now this one is not available anymore, but there are always new gift with purchases being released. And these can actually be sold online for a pretty good price to help you recuperate some of the money that you spent that day on buying the bigger Lego sets. So for example, you might spend $100, you might buy a Lego gingerbread house, and then you might get a free Christmas gift with purchase with that purchase. And then you can go and sell that gift with purchase to get back some of your money. And this is a creative way of getting discounts on Lego sets. So for example, if I spend $100 to buy that gingerbread house and then I can sell the gift with purchase for $50, then let's say after I've paid my platform fees, my profit on that $50 gift with purchase sale is $35. That is essentially $35 back on the $100 that I spent on buying the gingerbread house, right? So now I'm getting the gingerbread house for 35% off. I'm getting it for $65 instead of $100. Now that is a really good price to pay for the gingerbread house. And we can do even better than that with gift with purchases if we focus a little bit on our strategy. In some cases, you can get more than one gift with a single purchase, and in some cases, you can recover almost all of the amount that you spent to get those gifts and essentially end up with some free Lego that you can sell later. Now, a question that I get all the time is, should we be selling the gift with purchase immediately, or should we be holding on to them so that they grow in value, just like what we do with regular Lego sets? Most of the time with Lego sets, we are holding them long term, whether that's a year, 2 years, 3 years. And with gift with purchases, should we do that as well? The dynamics are very, very different. So should we just sell them right away and recover that cash and then invest that into more Lego sets? Or should we hold these gifts for the long term? That's what we're going to look at here in this video. Hopefully we will be able to answer that question by looking at some gift with purchase sets like these 3 right next to me and trying to see where the price has gone since these were available in stores. Do the prices increase usually? How long does it take them to increase? Is it worth holding on to? Or should we just sell them right away? Now, real quick, before we jump into this, I have an announcement to make, and I am so excited to let you know that we are finally ready to unveil something we've been working on for quite some time here behind the scenes with BrickBucks. We are releasing our brand new membership program called BrickBucks Ignite. Ignite is packed with helpful content and training videos that go a lot deeper than I usually do here on the YouTube channel. It's also packed with data. We have created bots and tools to help Lego investors find great opportunities, great deals, quickly check supply and demand information about sets, see the stock data on Amazon, quickly do return on investment calculations, quickly see the retirement dates of Lego sets that they might be interested in, and tons of other things. And if all that's not enough, Ignite will also be an inner circle community of Lego investors helping each other to solve problems, brainstorming, sharing tips, sharing strategies and deals. I am very, very excited about the things that we have built into this program. Because of the nature of this kind of group, we want to make sure that it is a tailored experience and we can give the time to the people who join to help them with their business. So the doors will not be open forever, so make sure you go check that out if you are interested. And with that, let's jump in and look at these gifts with purchases. Now, I'm going to use Amazon to look at the price history of some of these gifts with purchases and figure out when would have been a good time to sell them. The difficulty with using Amazon is that there's not a listing for many gift with purchases out there. We don't have all the gift with purchases over the last couple of years here on Amazon US. If we wanted to see prices on all of them, eBay and Bricklink would be better, but with eBay and Bricklink, we don't get to see a great price history. We do get to see recent sales, and with Bricklink, we do get to see an average of the sales over the last 6 months, but we don't get to see a graph of how the price increases like we do when we look at Amazon and use some tools. And since we're trying to figure out price appreciation here and how it rises over time, so I'm going to use Amazon and Keepa, which is a data tool, to look at this and to figure out how the price is increasing over time. And I'll focus on a handful of the ones that are available on Amazon, and we can use that as an example. So first up, we're looking at the Lego Ice Rink right here. This was a promotional gift last year around the holiday 2020. Now right now you can see that the buy box on Amazon is $50. And if we scroll down right here on the screen, I've got a tool installed on my computer called Keepa. And Keepa gives me this graph right here within my Amazon listing page and lets me look at things like how it's selling, what the rank is, and other pieces of information. And lets me understand things like how the price has increased over time. So I'm gonna just look at this graph real quick, and I'm gonna simplify it a little bit by taking out the sales rank and zoom out to give us the full picture since this listing was created on Amazon, which was around last December. This blue line that you can see right here is the price on this set in new condition. So we can see how the price has grown over time, and we can see that in December last year it started off strong at $42 and it quickly dropped down to around $27. In January it dropped further down as low as at one point $10, but that was someone just undercutting everybody else. But it was around 20 bucks for quite some time. And then in March it grew to around 21, and then in April 22.89, in May $24.79, and throughout the whole of 2021 this set did not grow a whole lot beyond that. So between January and August this set grew around $5 in value, and right now it's parked at around $33-34. The reason we see the 50 up here is because this is the buy box, and if you're an Amazon FBA seller you can sell for a little bit higher usually than this new price. But the new price is a better indicator of where the market is at, because not everybody can get that buy box and sell for that slight little bump. So we have it sitting at around, let's say $34 or $35. Now from January and February being at around 20, that is not that bad, right? It has almost doubled, and I do expect during holiday this year sales will pick up on this, and then we might see this getting to, beyond double of what it started off with in January. Now, will it reach double of this number here, the $27? It could. It's possible that it could. And over the course of a year, is this worth holding on to? If it does get to over double the price that it was back here around January, which is, let's say, 27 or 28 bucks, if the holiday sales do push this one up over double of what it was back around January, around the 27.61, so if we see this blue line grow about another $15, then I'm feeling like this was a really good hold. That remains to be seen whether the holiday period will push it that much. I do think that the holiday period will push this one up quite a bit because, of course, it is an ice rink and it is a holiday-based set. So we could see this grow pretty quickly in around December time. Now, do I think that this was worth holding over the course of the year? It's borderline. I feel like it's borderline. If this new price gets to beyond double of what it was in January, then it's a pretty good hold, but at the same time, that money could do better elsewhere, right? If we put that money into a set that is a better and more sure thing, then the set could actually almost triple in price in some cases over the course of a year. And then after you pay your fees, you could double your money in a year. And we do see that with Lego investing when you pick good sets. And in this case, if the price doubles over the course of a year, then after your fees, you're not going to double your money. The return on investment will be a little bit lower. So it's not as good of a hold as the money could be in some other sets. And with this flat line throughout most of the year here, maybe it would have been worth taking $25 and then moving it into something else before the retirement wave in July, for example, and then letting that grow a lot more by Q4 2022. So with this kind of growth, you could probably do better with the money in something else over the course of a year, but at the same time, it is growing in value, right? That's kind of the key here, right? It is growing in value. You will do fine by holding on to this gift with purchase, and it will grow a little more. But let's move on and look at some other examples here. And next up, we've got the Harry Potter Book of Monsters 30628, and this is my favorite gift with purchase because as soon as I saw this set, I felt like it looked way beyond the usual gift for purchase. I felt like this looked like a $40 or $50 Lego set that people would definitely pay for. And because of that, as soon as I saw this one, I felt like this was going to do very, very well in the aftermarket. Now, right now, the buy box is at $75 on this. The regular new price is going to be a little bit lower than that. But let's look at where the graph is right now. And if I just simplify this and take out the sales rank and then zoom out to look at the last year, when it was first released, of course, there wasn't a whole lot of supply out there. Not many people had it listed on Amazon. So the price was at around $83 last December. During January, it had a massive drop down to the 40s with it at 42, and it stayed around there for some time. Even throughout April and May, it was at 45. In May, coming into June, it rose to 50 and then up to 62 in June. Now, since June, we've also had a flat line on this one where it has not gone very far in the last couple of months. And that's where we are right about now. It's at around $68 or $69 on this. So was this worth keeping? Well, as we can see, it didn't grow a whole lot throughout the year, but I do think that that is because it was oversupplied. There were a lot of people who stocked up on this set, and the demand is there. It's selling very, very quickly. But so many people got a lot of these, so we have to wait for that supply to dwindle down before the price goes up a whole lot. Now, in my opinion, I still think that this is a hold. I did not want to take $40 for this back in February because I'm very, very confident that I will get a lot more than that for this. I will look to sell this at around $100. And I think during Q4 this year, we will see a quick bump in this price as the demand quickly increases during the holiday period. But of course, looking at the price right here, you would not think that this was a good hold. You would think that you should have got out of this earlier on and put the money somewhere else. That's because the price data doesn't tell us everything, right? It doesn't tell us how fast this is selling. And it's really that demand data and understanding how fast this is selling that is making me confident that the price will take off at some point. We just haven't seen it yet. But I do have that confidence that this will happen. Now, if you just base your decisions on the price chart, then you will not think this is a good hold, and it probably is better to sell and put that money somewhere else. So let's move on to another example now. And up next, we have the Charles Dickens Tribute, another amazing gift with purchase. As you can see right now, the buy box on Amazon US is $70. The new price will not be at the same number as that. The regular new price is around 50 right now. And as you can see, if I zoom out here, this was a flat line all year. Now, I do need to call out that there is a chance that there were some issues with this listing. And I say that because the sales rank data on this listing is missing for most of the year. And that's what tells me how fast it's selling. So when we look at this price, it is flat for most of this year. We don't see a whole lot of growth on this Charles Dickens Tribute set. Again, it is a holiday set, so it is possible that this will pick up big time during Q4 in 2021. But right now, it looks like you would have been better off taking your money back in January of this year for around $50 a piece, which again, for a free gift is a great price on this from the get-go. But it hasn't really grown since then on this price chart. I do think we will see a different story in a few months' time. Let's move on now and look at another example, and we're going back a little bit in time. This is a 2018 gift with purchase, this next one, and this is the store limited edition Christmas present. This was another holiday exclusive gift with purchase, and you can see right now that the buy box is $69 on this set. If we scroll down and look at this Keepa chart, we have it zoomed out to look at all time here, and it goes back as far as December 2018. Now that's a long time to hold a Lego set. It did start off in the 20s, 24, 18, $22, but it's been 3 years, right? So since then it has grown, and we can see that even in mid 2020, which is a year and a half later, it was still selling for $30. Now, since then, we did have a takeoff, right? So it was $30 in mid 2020, and it grew at the start of 2021 to $50, right? And we can see a quick climb during Q4 of 2020 here, which is what I was talking about before, which is the holiday sets will be in more demand, of course, during the holiday season. That will let some of the lowball sellers sell out, And as a result, we can see the price quickly climb, and that's what happened right here in 2020. And then we got to $50, and since then, again, it has flatlined. It has not gone anywhere further. It actually has dropped a little bit. So in my opinion, this was definitely not holding long term. If you received the Christmas present gift with purchase back in holiday 2018, you would have been better off selling this right away and taking the $24 and putting that money into something else. Because although it has grown over time, it has only doubled in the space of almost 3 years. This Q4, of course, I do expect it to jump up a little bit more again, but we're not in the business of storage. We are in the business of e-commerce. So that is too long to be holding on to something for these kind of gains, and I think you could do better with the money somewhere else. So let's look at another example, and here we have the exclusive holiday Christmas tree, another holiday period gift with purchase from 2019. And this one right now is selling for $160 on Amazon for a set that was free a couple of years ago. If we scroll down and look at this chart right now and go to all time, and let's just simplify this and take out some of the other stuff. We have the price chart here in blue. We can see a lot of growth last holiday period. When it started off, it was around $45, and then it dropped a little bit throughout all of 2020. This was around 45 to 48, it jumped up to 65 in the second half of 2020, and then during holiday period 2020 is when this set took off. We went from 64 in September of 2020 to 145 in December of 2020. So that's that holiday effect, right? That can really impact the price of these gift with purchases. Now, all throughout 2021, the price has been stable at around 130, and it hasn't moved since. Again, we're probably going to see another jump this holiday period. This could jump up to 160, 170 on this blue chart. So was it worth holding over that time period? This is an example that was definitely worth holding, right? So if you could have got 48, 45 for it at the start of 2020, and you could have got 150 for it at the end of 2020, I think that that was definitely worth holding, right? It tripled in price over the course of a year, which is pretty good. Now, it hasn't moved this year, and it remains to be seen if it will have similar action on the price this year. I don't think that it will be quite as dramatic because the price is already quite high. So there's only so much that we can go. So in my opinion, the optimum time to sell this one would have been around January this year. Of course, it would have been best to get the higher price in December of 2020, but it hasn't been worth holding throughout 2021. So I think selling it after a year of holding this set would have been the best thing to do. Of course, it's always hard to know that. Let's move on now and look at another example. And here we have a Star Wars May the 4th promo. This is the Battle of Endor micro build 40362. Let's look at the chart on this one and zoom out. Let's remove some of the stuff, and here we have that blue line again. Now again, we see a flat line on this for a long period of time. For over a year and a half, this was selling at around $38 or $39. That's not what we want, right? We want to see some appreciation and growth in the price. And yes, we did see a very big jump after that point, right? So after a year and a half point, we saw that jump, and now it's at 84 or 85 and has dropped a little bit down to 70 and 75 range. But we had a year and a half of no movement. So honestly, even though it looks like the best thing to do would have hold this until 85, I don't think that I would have held on to it after a year and a half of no growth. And I think it would have been a better decision not to do that, to actually liquidate this way back here for $40. So this is an example of a gift with purchase that wasn't worth holding in my opinion. Even though we have had a recent jump in the price, it just hasn't been enough to warrant such a long time to hold. So let's look at another example now, and this is the Lego Super Mario Monty Mole and Super Mushroom expansion set. And coming down to the graph again, we set this to all, we take out the sales rank, and what do we see? So the listing was created on Amazon at around the end of 2020 in around October timeframe, and it started off extremely high at around 140 and dropped down to 83. So from the get-go, this has been selling for quite a high price on Amazon. We went up during Q4 and landed at about 150, And then during the first half of 2020, we had it at around $180 or $190 on this. Now, it's stayed around those numbers since then. It actually has dropped a little bit down to 170 and hasn't moved again. We could see further movement on this, but I don't think that it's worth holding this long. Because it started at such a high price, I think a great strategy would have been to take $150 for this in December of 2020, which is a very, very high price. And here we are almost a year later, and it has only moved $20 upward. So I definitely think that this was not a long-term hold gift with purchase, but it was still a jackpot for whoever actually managed to get one of these. And let's look at one more example here. And I do apologize to anyone who was looking for a certain gift with purchase that I didn't show here. Again, some of them are not here on Amazon. And I was looking for some of the bigger gifts that are a little more substantial than the poly bags. So we are kind of limited for what we can analyze here on Amazon, but I do think that this was a useful investigation here. So in the last example, we have the Steam Engine 40-year exclusive 40370. Buy box is currently at $60 on Amazon. And looking at this Keepa graph now, we can quickly see that this price has not moved. It has been flatlined since May 2020. It is actually selling for a little less now than it was at that point. So this was definitely a sell and move on set and put that money into something else. So what are my thoughts overall after looking at some of these examples? I personally think that most of the time, gifts with purchase are not worth holding long term, and it is better to recuperate some of your money early on, sell the set, take your money back, and put that into a different Lego set. This has other added benefits like the power of compounding, which we won't go into here, but basically it just means that as you turn over your inventory faster, your wealth grows quicker because it compounds on itself. The money that you earn from a sale goes into a new investment, which then earns you more, and the snowball effect kicks in. So you would benefit from compounding by selling earlier and putting that money into something else. And as we've shown here, in some cases, you really are just blindly throwing darts at a dartboard when it comes to whether or not a gift with purchase will grow in value. A lot of it comes down, of course, to the amount of supply that is out there. And some of them are more hoarded than others. Some of them last longer in the Lego store than others. And it just really depends on a handful of different factors. The easiest way to approach it, in my opinion, is to just sell them, take the money, put it back into something else. Now, having said that, we do still see appreciation on some of these sets, especially the holiday sets where they become popular during Q4 and see those quick spikes in the price. So keep that in mind when you're choosing what to sell and when to sell it. And at the end of the day, the fact that we still see some appreciation on these gift with purchases means that even if you choose to hold on to them, you will do quite well. I just think that you could probably do a little bit better by investing in a better opportunity. So I hope you found this useful. I hope this answered some questions for you about your Lego investing strategy when it comes to gift with purchases. If you did find it useful, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. If you want to level up your Lego investing game, consider checking out the Ignite program in the description below, our launch bonus of 15% off. So make sure to check that out if that is something that you would be interested in. Once again, I am Shane from BrickBucks.net. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you in the next one.